Hey boys and girls, welcome back. Jason MX Fever. Today we're going to finish up the resurrection of an 86 Honda 4Trax 250. Been sitting for 15 years. We've done a video regarding the carburetor rebuild, master cylinder rebuild, and today we're going to finish up with the drum brake wheel end cylinder rebuild. So stay tuned and hope you enjoy. Let's first get a quick explanation of how drum brakes work. And drum brakes have been around since like 22 AD. They've been around forever, and everything from lawnmowers to semi-trucks. They're simple, cheap to build, cheap to maintain. So, like I say, they've been used forever. So as you squeeze the lever on the master cylinder, the fluid pushes down the lines and into the wheel cylinder here, pushing the pistons out this way, which makes the shoes come out and press against the brake drum, slowing you down. This is very similar to what you'll find in an automobile. The big difference is in a car, they auto adjust. So down here on this adjuster would be a lever that especially when you're in reverse, when you hit the brakes and the pistons come out too far, it'll kick the adjuster up. Hondas have been this way for as long as I can remember, where you have to manually adjust them. So this is your adjuster here. Once you get to where you pull the lever and you're not slowing down, you're overstroking the master cylinder. So it can't push the pistons out any farther because you've used up all of the fluid. So the adjustment is made by turning these, which pushes the bottom of the shoes out. So then the lever action makes the shoes come back in contact with the drum. The drums have these little rubber plugs. On the newer ones, 2000 I think and later, they're red. So you can see them. You can access these through the wheel. So when the drum is on and you need to adjust your brakes, you just turn it so this is at the bottom. And then you'll look in there and you'll see this adjuster. I'm going to try and see. Yeah, this will move on its own right now. So that's basically how you adjust it. You would turn this adjuster to push the shoe out, and then you'd go on with your life. But these shoes are roached. So we're gonna take everything apart. I want to take the adjuster apart, put some anti-seize on it, so the next owner of this can adjust these brakes easily and not have to worry about fighting it. I know I'm not supposed to do this to a screwdriver. This would be a W5. If you went to MMI, you'd know improper tool usage. But I just want to make sure that it'll spin before I take it apart. So let's get to ripping into this thing. Keep in mind, I've been doing this forever, and that's why I'm making these videos, to help people learn how to take care of their own equipment. I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to get this thing apart. These are just quarter-turn pins. Then the retainer comes off. Then you'll literally just grab onto a shoe, throw them in the garbage. Now the adjusters should just pop right out. Yep, that one did. You can see look in there, that's why I'm gonna take it out, clean it up, put anti-seize on it, because this would be a nightmare to adjust. The other one out, see how that looks. Whoops. Yeah, and it's the same way. So I'm just gonna put these in a vise, take this out, wire wheel it up, and then put some anti-seize back on it, and it'll be good to go. As I took these out, wire wheeled them up, put a little bit of anti-seize on them. That'll keep it so that they turn really easy now. I can move them with my fingers. Before you saw I had to use a screwdriver and a hammer to get them to turn. But one thing to note, one side or the other is going to be a backwards thread. Just keep that in mind when you're working on it. Now the wheel cylinder I can't get out because of the spindle in the back. So I'm going to have to pull the backing plate off. It's not a big deal. So let's do that quick. Give it a little tap with that blow. There it goes. Some of the pins. Now we take the master cylinder out. Sorry, I said master cylinder, but wheel cylinder. Alright, so here we have our wheel cylinder, and then this is the rebuild kit. Unfortunately, Honda does not make these anymore. The part is obsolete, but you can get rebuild kits for them, which is good. They actually come apart really easy. I'm not worried about the old rubber, because we're going to throw it in the trash anyways. But the piston slides right out. You can see the goop built up on the piston. That's why I decided to rebuild them, because of the condition of the rest of the system. Alright, yeah, I can see them. I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not, but there's a bunch of crap in there. So we'll just clean it out with some brake cleaner. Get the goop out of the sealing surface. Same thing with the master cylinder. If you watch that video, you don't want to stick anything sharp in here, because it's a machine surface, and the seals rely on that to function. So get that cleaned out. Let's get this one. And that looks good. So we'll put the pistons together. Now they've got. Sorry, I didn't realize I put the brake cleaner in front of the camera. They've got these little clips, and what these clips do is they prevent the springs that are holding the shoes in place from driving the piston in too far. So those springs will stop it right there. It's kind of a trick to getting them on. Just start one corner of it, and I just use a screwdriver to pry it over. Like so. Then with the seals, the same thing with the master cylinder rebuild, they're directional. So if you take a look at the old one, the flap goes to the inside. So what that does is as fluid comes in, it pushes against the seal, expanding it. Then when you release, the seal releases, and the piston is allowed to come back in. And these things are kind of a bear to do too. That wasn't too bad. And the outer ones, go down like that. Now put it in, just get a little brake fluid on your finger. Slide it down in, get the gasket or the seal over the lip here. There's one side. I'm just in a reverse order. So this one right in. back on. You want to keep an eye on these because they'll fall out and you'll lose them. You don't want to lose those because they don't come with the new shoes. And then that as well is also worth noting that the shape of the pad and contour is different, and the shoe is different from top to bottom. So the flatter edge will come up here and rest on the wheel cylinder. But the easy way to put these together is just like taking them apart. Hang the springs on them. Springs in the new one. Right in on over. Okay, now the pins go back through the hole. These you can push down with your finger pretty much. And you have your pliers. Quarter turn, and there's that side. And there you go. You just did a full service wheel end for drum brakes. And getting the drum back on can be kind of tricky sometimes because these pads, the shoes are allowed to move up and down. So we'll see how it goes. I think I'm going to turn this. This spins off of free. There should be a little bit of pad contact. Now that it's stuck, I'll show you another trick to getting these off. Stick one of your lug nuts on. Use a pry bar and the drum will break right free. So let's turn this out a little bit. You want to make sure that these are done evenly. Now you'll notice there's a little clip here too that locks that in place so that can't turn freely. That's why they're being kind of difficult to turn. See, that one's the reverse thread one, so I'm going to go back to the other one. See how that is. We're going to go a little more. Now I got the adjustment fine tuned. You can hear the shoes barely hitting the drum, and that's where you want them to be. So we'll put the spindle nut back on. this is a good tool to have right here. See, this is 10-inch on this side, so it's standard. And this one is 250 millimeter on the other, so it's a universal, metric, and standard pressing wrench. These are not tapered bearings, so you can get it snugged up. Put the cotter pin back in. And we're ready to bleed the brakes. I already previously blew these lines out because the fluid was so terrible. So basically just took it off at the master cylinder, blew brake clean down to it until I had clear brake clean coming out. I'm going to use what I prefer personally is the gravity feed bleeding. So I'm just going to add fluid to the reservoir and let it gravity feed itself out until I get fluid down here. And then I'll start working on bleeding it the old-fashioned way. So that completes the portion of this how-to clip. I thank you for joining me in this process of resurrecting a classic machine that's been sitting around and been neglected for a long time. I'm just gonna finish bleeding the brakes. I did not record that process. You can look that up, any hydraulic brake bleed. It's gonna be the same for anything. I didn't record it with this because I did it by myself and I kind of looked like I was having relations with the machine, so I didn't want everybody to see that. It's definitely way easier if you got a couple people that want somebody that can help you. But yeah, thank you for watching, and hope you guys got something out of this video. Give me a like and a subscribe, and stay tuned.